Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here again for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks so much for listening again this week, and thank you to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Jaramillo for our artwork. Well, we are getting close to the end of Season 10 here, but we are still very excited about our future. So, if you would like to be involved and maybe be on an episode in Season 11, go ahead and give us a suggestion for a destination. You can find that at our link tree. That's linktr.ee/drunkardswalk. Also there, you will find the link to nominate us for the Best of PGH, being sponsored by the Pittsburgh City Paper. We'd like to be nominated as the best podcast in Pittsburgh, and then, hopefully, if we get that nomination, voted Best Podcast in Pittsburgh. You can do those nominations until the 21st of June, so you've got basically another 4 or 5 days here to get that done if you'd like to help us out. And if you would, we would appreciate that. And if you wouldn't, well then just enjoy the show. Take care.
Hello and welcome back to Drunkard's Walk, the podcast. That's right, everybody. It's the musical episode of Drunkard's Walk where the entire episode will be in song. And here with me to sing along on our magical musical journey through Wikipedia is my co-host. His name is Matthew Hartman.
I'm Matt Hartman, and I'm here to say I love to do a podcast in a major way.
Stop.
What's happening?
No, you. It was going to be a great idea, and I appreciate the yes and, but the whatever your brain thinks of as music, that definition needs to be updated because
it's not it.
that was like the cheesiest 80s rap nonsense.
It's all I've got, man. It's all I've got. It's the only thing that I can do as far as singing is concerned. That's why they don't let me sing when I'm on stage. They say, go over there. Don't dance either. Just move your feet left and right. And then that's it. You're good. You're good there.
Yeah. I feel like those people really know you and they're onto something because they're preventing you from unleashing song.
They do, and they are. Well, it's your fault. You set it up, and of course, I wasn't going to deny you. So, I
deny you all the time, though.
I know you do.
I mean, it's kind of my deal.
Yes, and I appreciate that.
No, you don't.
Well done.
Thank you. It's nice to have an established brand of being a dick.
It is. I can tell that you love it, and I mean we've been through almost 10 full seasons of this. I am used to it by now. I've become numb to the sting of Jethro's wit and wagers.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's on you because we knew each other before we did this podcast. So you know I was a jerk when you started to do a podcast with me. So.
Yeah, it's a fair point. But here we are, wandering through Wikipedia from week to week and from topic to topic, and Jethro, I really last week. I don't know if do you remember last week at all? Because I know you have those blackouts from time to time. So
I remember. Last week like it was 7 days ago.
So it was very exciting. We had Karen on from Good Job Brain. She gave us that topic of Stargazy Pie. And if you recall, while we were discussing Stargazy Pie, which is a British delicacy, is my understanding, I mentioned that my wife is British, and Karen had all kinds of questions about how do you eat Stargazy Pie? You know, she had Stargazy Pie before. How does it work exactly? And I thought, you know what? Rather than me try to relate all of those answers to you, which are in depth and very well thought out, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I just brought Emma on as our guest this week? What do you say, Jethro?
I think that's a terrible idea.
Oh,
Emma has not been a longtime friend of the podcast, and she's got that kind of grating voice with that British accent thing. So I don't think she'd be a good guest at all. I'm glad you asked before you brought her on, though.
Well, Jethro, actually, she is already on the call.
What a faux pas!
Yeah, there she is, right there. I am glad that you still have your audio settings set for the buzzer so that we can still hear your dog and all of the noises that you make. Emma, we'd like to hear some of the noises that you make. Hi, and welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Matthew.
Oh,
And Jethro.
Hello,
no.
Emma.
Yeah, you're in trouble, Jethro.
Welcome to our little corner of the podcast universe.
Mm-mm.
You're in so much trouble.
Yeah, look at that.
Is my voice really that harsh?
Not at all.
I was tempted to start speaking with just a terrible Cockney accent, but then I lost my bottle and got really nervous that I just may offend.
You lost your bottle. Now
lost
tell
your
me about
bottle.
that phrase.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You've never heard of
I've not.
No.
He lost his bottle.
What's that mean?
So yeah, I understand the words.
You can keep saying it, but
can you explain it?
Well, no, because I just don't know the origin of it, but it is something that British people do say.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
I were to
that I got nervous.
Okay, very cool.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. I got it.
That is excellent. I love that. Thank you. No, I love your voice. I think it's lovely. I love you as a person. I was doing what we in the biz call a bit.
Oh. That was a bit. Yeah. Did you realize that? I didn't.
I didn't. I mustn't understand Jethro's complex level of comedy.
I see. That's the sad thing about me is that I am a tender and loving human being that is wrapped in the persona of a total jerk.
Yeah. I don't know. Emma, I get your confusion because traditionally bits are known for being funny. And so when Jethro did what he did and it wasn't, I can see where you would have been like, what's going on?
Matt, I will murder you in your sleep.
See that? See? You never really
Another patented Jethro.
Yeah, just well done.
I was confused because I couldn't hear any audience laughing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, that's the nature of a podcast.
Yeah, we're well used to that.
The laughter is assumed.
Yes, it has to be. So, I was just telling everybody last week we had the suggestion of Stargazy Pie, and I came to you and I said, hey, Stargazy Pie. Can you recreate your reaction to that when I told you that we had that?
What are you talking about? I don't know what that is. What is Stargazy Pie?
Yeah. So
I actually probably did this. Stargazy Pie.
Yeah, there you go. That was probably exactly what you did. So, folks, as it turns out, this is not so well known in the UK as we were led to believe. So,
actually, Matt, if I can interrupt, we've opened up the door of a wonderful. We've had a number of things that are a number of destinations this season that are related to the Commonwealth.
Yeah,
and given Emma's connection to the UK, I would love to just name some of our destinations and get Emma's reaction to those.
Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead.
So, Emma, Blue Peter badge.
Always wanted one. Never got one. After that episode, almost went and bought one from eBay. Not that expensive, turns out, but stopped myself because I don't feel like I would have earned it.
Very good. All right. Mm-hmm. Round the twist.
Have you ever felt like this?
Here we go.
When strange things happen, we'll be going round the twist.
Wow.
Haunted lighthouse, baby.
Fantastic. All right. And last one here. Taylor Swift.
All-time legend. My hero, who I aspire to be when I grow up, although she's only just a couple months older than me. And who I will never get to see live in the Eras Tour.
She's younger than
Matt wouldn't let me buy tickets.
She's younger than you.
Wow, Matt wouldn't let you buy tickets?
Oh, no, she is younger than me by a few months because December comes after July.
Yeah, that in most years, yes.
In the UK, it's the other way around. It's
right. Well, you've got metric.
Yeah, we do the month. We do the day before the month, and
Right, yeah. Wait, Jethro,
Matt wouldn't hold on. Matt wouldn't let you buy tickets. Let's double click on that.
He wouldn't let me.
Can I unearth some of your?
He would not let me fly to the UK to see Taylor Swift live.
I don't remember you actually like asking for permission to do that. And if you did,
Why
it's not up
should
to
she
me.
have to ask for permission?
That's my point.
She's
It's
an adult
precisely
with her own job.
Exactly. I should
Jethro,
be able to
that's
spend
precisely my point.
$4,000 of my own hard-earned money to
If you felt-
fly to
if
the
you-
UK
if you felt that
and
that was
see
the right thing to
Taylor
do.
Swift live.
$4,000 is nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Again, I don't remember there ever being a I want permission, and nor should there be. So what are you blaming me for?
Wow.
Because I need to blame someone.
I see. Okay. But you didn't, Jethro, you skipped one of our UK things, a Cornish folklore story of the knocker.
The
How do you feel about that
knocker.
name? Yeah, the knocker.
There we go. What an
See,
amazing...
that's what's
There it
the
is.
knocker.
Yeah, thank God you fit that in there, Matt. That was an
I know.
amazing.
Well,
bit
I
of
wanted to see.
context for our listeners.
That's the reaction I was looking for. A knocker is like a Tommy knocker. Have you ever heard of a Tommy knocker?
Oh, that sounds like it shouldn't be allowed.
All right. Well,
anymore.
it's a what was it? What type of creature was it, Jethro? I don't
A
remember.
gnome.
Oh, a gnome.
Like a gnome who
Yeah.
lives in coal mines.
Coal mines. Yeah.
Oh, in
It's from
Wales.
Cornwall.
Well, Cornwall.
Cornwall.
Or Wales. Well, from the Wikipedia page,
Hmm.
it seems to be quite Welsh.
There's probably a little bit of
Okay.
that. But Stargazy Pie, you don't know. You've never had it, so you don't know how it's eaten. You're not
No,
familiar with
well,
it at all.
listen, I did some research.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up on Wikipedia.
Oh,
It's a great place
so
to
did
go.
we? Yeah.
It is. That's where I get all of my fact-based knowledge. Anytime I
Wise.
need to study, it's straight to Wikipedia.
Great.
Turns out you just take all the fish heads out.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
The image that we saw didn't even have that. It had like the fish heads poking out of the crust of the pie.
Yeah, you
It
just
was-
you just pick them out and then you eat it. And then you
Okay.
eat the pie.
So
But
they're
then
just
why
decoration.
even cook it with the fish heads in there? Like, shouldn't you sanitize it so no one has to see a fish head?
You know, I'm sure once you get onto that page and are looking for a way to get out of that page,
I see.
you will discover the answer to all of these questions. But I do not know.
I think that it's because that's why it's called a Stargazy Pie, because they are looking up at the stars. That's the whole point, right? If they weren't there, you would have a pie with a name that didn't make any sense. That's how I see it. But
I mean, I'm seeing
find out.
Cornwall again, like Cornwall.
It's Cornish,
They're nuts down south. Telling
Is that
you.
right? Oh,
So
okay.
let's see.
That seems to work for any country.
Hey-o.
The people in the south are the crazy ones. I wonder if in the southern hemisphere, the northern folk are the closer you get to the equator, the more batshit crazy your country is.
That might be.
Yes.
Because of the heat.
There we go.
That's why I'm assuming.
You know what? Those are all wonderful destinations. I wonder though
Oh,
what Emma has brought as a destination for us.
what a
This-
So I did have an original destination that I wanted to use this evening. But Matt had mentioned that there have been a lot of UK centric
Mhm.
suggestions this season.
There we go.
So I would like to give him an honorable mention, not Matt. My original destination.
Oh, I see.
And the reason he gets an honorable mention is because he, this past Sunday, so we're still right now in May, had his final game with Liverpool Football Club as their manager.
Mm-hmm.
It is none other than the legend Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen, bravo.
Yeah, I mean, really,
He does.
truly, he deserves a round of applause.
Yes.
There is a lot of speculation of why he's leaving because it's a little strange. My mum, I feel like, has a different theory every other day. He has brought so much success to Liverpool Football Club over the last few years and is going to be very sorely missed as the manager. Not only that, but he is also kind of batshit crazy in the best way and
Okay.
doesn't really care about the judgment of others. Like he's going to do what he's going to do. And he's a bit of a legend. So that is the honorable mention, Jurgen Klopp. Thank you
Okay.
for your service. Whoever takes your place has got some pretty big boots to fill.
Now, is Jurgen a traditional Liverpudlian name?
Oh yeah, through and through.
Okay.
Jürgen Klopp is that's actually
I mean, I know a lot. I don't want to brag. I know a lot about England, and that sounds
that's
really
actually
interesting.
Ringo Starr's real name.
There you go,
Hmm.
Jurgen Klopp.
He's Jürgen Klopp is quite German.
Okay.
But yeah, he's pretty great. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different titles, trophies
Fantastic.
for
Amazing.
Liverpool Football Club.
So that's the destination you didn't pick.
That's where we're not going.
That is where you're not going. So where
Okay.
you are going, you'll be very pleased to
It's
hear
Jurgen Klopp.
his cousin. We are actually going to take a little walk into the world of book talk.
Oh,
Book
no.
talk.
I
You
can-
leaned
I
into
can-
the microphone and used the sultry voice there.
Well,
us about
because it's a
book talk.
magical place, but we are going to lean into the fantasy side of book talk, where it actually book talk was kind of created in
Okay.
the fantasy world. And I would like you guys to take a walk to one of my favorite authors, my favorite fantasy authors. The first novel in a series that is A Court of Thorn and Roses. Take a drink, Matthew.
Is that the name? Is that the name that we're going to?
That's the name. You have to take a
Okay.
drink every
Okay,
time.
or-
Every time someone says A Court of Thorn and Roses,
A Court of Thorn and Roses.
a drink must be taken.
All
I
right.
don't think that that's true, but okay.
I'll drop the bottle off when I pass your
So
office.
tell us about A Court of Thorn and Roses. What is it
Okay,
about?
so it is by author Sarah J. Maas.
Mhm.
Maas is spelled Maas.
Another Dutch name, or sorry,
Yeah, she is American.
it's a Dutch name though. Moss is absolutely a Dutch name.
Oh yeah, for sure. But she is based in the US, and this is the first book of 5 or 6 book 1, 2, 3, 5 book series. I've read them all. I love them all. It is like romantic fantasy. It came out in 2015.
Okay.
Oh, almost 10 years ago.
To give you some additional help, its publisher was Bloomsbury. just to really help you out a little more, because it's a little obscure. But I love it. Like Sarah J. Maas, I'm actually wearing a t-shirt to one of the characters in one of her later series, which is Crescent City.
And what does the t-shirt say for those that can't see it?
Oh yeah, sorry, this is a podcast. The t-shirt says Jelly Jubilee, and if you know, you know. That's all I'll say.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
To my fellow lovers of the Mass universe.
Mm.
So it is about a fairy, but not like a Tinkerbell fairy.
Okay.
I'm talking like a fairy that will like murder you dead if you stand still for too long. Like
So
it's
a good
Tinkerbell.
murderous fairy story.
Tinkerbell would do that.
Yeah. I mean, Tinkerbell,
Because-
I don't know. She does have anger issues.
I mean, she's very vicious.
So give us more context about like the type of content that is involved in this story. Is it for adults? Is it for
It is definitely for adults. It's spicy.
Has it been when you say
Smut.
spicy, I'm assuming you mean sex.
Oh, it's the smuttiest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smuttiest book. But so it is very adult. There is also like the violence is equally as adult as the romance in it. And it follows the story of the protagonist, Feyre Archeron. And it's the whole, like the 3 different book series she has are all kind of set in different places with different protagonists. All of the main characters in her books are like real like badass females.
Mhm.
They are very strong and, you know, tend to make the men in their lives quiver in their boots.
Like most women do.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
So is this nonfiction then?
Good zing. That was a
Hey-o.
comment on you, Emma. That I don't know if you caught that.
No, it's coming on
Oh, we'll talk
everyone.
about this later, Matthew.
Coming on the world.
But it's just I mean I could sit and tell you all about the story. I don't know how much that's going to help you.
What are some either unique or significant elements in the story? So like if it were for example, if we were doing Stephen King's It as a destination, we'd be like, oh, murderous clowns. That's an element of the story. So what are the elements within this wonderful tale that might be possible inroads for us trying to get there?
Oh gosh, I couldn't even give you one. Every it goes in so many different directions, but in the
Give
best
us
way.
several then.
I think that it is the and this is the first book in the series, so it's very much almost like a fish out of water story. You know, she gets kind of like swept into this not very pleasant love situation. So it's a lot of mates finding mates.
Okay.
They call it like it's a mate versus, and they you know they call they don't call them men, they call them like males because they are not human.
Okay.
Are there any humans in this story at all?
There are
Okay.
there are humans, and actually in the beginning of the story, Feyre is human.
Who's Feyre?
Feyre is the protagonist.
Oh, I see. So the one
Feyre,
that's the fairy.
and Feyre is spelled Feyre.
Okay. But primarily, most of the characters are non-human. They're fairies.
Yeah, and there's like there are shapeshifters. You know, there are water fae. There are demons.
Okay.
There are a lot of like there's a lot of like fear around the fae initially, and humans don't like them because they're different and they're scary and that type of thing. And then the story develops more in later books. Tamlin is Feyre's initial love interest.
Okay.
We don't like Tamlin.
We don't. Why not?
We don't. Matt is just laughing and shaking his head. We don't like Tamlin. Tamlin's a dick. I'm not going to discuss it I don't want to give away too many spoilers. What if there are people that haven't read the book?
No one.
Jethro, you
no
don't
one
want
listening.
this ruined for when you're reading it.
It's ruined.
Okay, so let me ask this: are there in this book? Is it like based on, or are there references to other more well-known stories or books?
This is a very famous book, Jethro. This is a very well-known book.
No.
Please, my
but
questions are
it
just a
does
testament
though.
to my own
Because
ignorance.
so it
incredibly popular.
It gives a lot of Beauty and the Beast vibes.
Okay. I've heard of Beauty and the Beast. There we go.
Yeah.
What else?
More well known.
And then I guess looking, which I haven't read these other ones, so I don't know, but East of the Sun and West of the Moon is also referenced, and then Tam Lin. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but Beauty and the Beast, like I was reading it and I was like, oh, when I first started, this is just Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
But fairies.
And is it just a book, or has it been like turned into a movie or a TV show or anything?
Yeah, so that is actually coming. Hulu picked it up, which really disappoints me because I think it would be better placed with like an HBO Max
Okay. Why do you think that?
Yeah,
because I
what's the
watch Game
difference?
of Thrones.
Oh.
Okay. Now you had mentioned, like, when I asked you if it was for adults, you were like, "Oh yeah." Like, is it at all controversial? Like, is it like, because I know that sometimes fantasy is like thought of as more young adult or young. Like, is there anything about it that's like scandalous?
I mean, I think the sex is just pornographic in how it's described.
Really?
There's just a lot of detail, and then when there is some
Can you
kind
read
of
it? Can you read a
violence.
passage? Can you read a passage?
No, 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 no. We're not
Uh,
going to read a passage from the book. Okay, we've heard enough about this, Jethro.
Tamlin removes his
Stop,
breeches.
There we
stop,
go.
stop,
There we go.
stop.
There it is.
No more
His
britches
jodhpurs hit
removing.
the floor.
His jogfist
We-
hit
His
the floor.
his manhood turgid
All right, all
and
right.
respectful.
Listen,
of the Lady Eliwane's
we have
elvish
got
nudity.
we have got to actually start on this walk, Jethro. We cannot continue
Come on.
There
along
are
these
some
paths.
a lot of like this particular author does favor some phrases such as like something being cut into bloody ribbons.
Nice.
Can't even say it. Bloody ribbons.
Caught in the bloody ribbons.
And watery bowels. That's a term that is used. Watery bowels.
None of this is going to help us.
I know.
Come on,
So
if
the
we get to the watery bowels,
watery bowels. Yeah, my bowels went watery. This is kind of medieval in nature. It's not specifically
fantasy, right?
set in any timeline, but it is not a modern day. They do not have technology.
I mean,
Okay.
it's
They
not
live in-
Earth, right? It's somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a
Fictional
completely
place, right?
different.
Yeah.
It's a completely different planet universe.
Center Earth, as they call it.
Right.
Midgard, I think, in one of the books. It's called Midgard.
Of course it is. Well, that's getting into
All right,
Norse.
then.
Norse
We
mythology.
got the whole Tolkien tie-in then.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
All right.
fantastic.
So, A Court of Thorn and Roses, and we are trying to get there from Stargazy Pie, which, probably not that difficult. Stargazy sounds kind of fantasy-ish. So,
It really does.
maybe
I'm sure
we're
it'll
gonna
just be
okay.
one or two.
Yeah, it'll be one or two.
It does. I will say, just looking down further a little bit into this, it has won some best young adult fantasy awards. I would not
Young
categorize it
Oh boy.
in that area at all.
On account of the sexual explicit nature.
I mean, maybe, but I guess when does young adult end?
Well,
Like
that's
what?
the
Like I
question,
feel like
right?
I am still a young adult, I guess.
No,
Like there are people in my life that are more adult and responsible for things than I am.
Emma, just let me. I respect you a great deal. You are not a young adult. You are an adult.
Well, I mean, I'm in my
young adult doesn't mean immature. It just
but
means
I'm in
like
my early 30s, Jethro.
She's not
Like
an
I'm
old
barely
adult.
out of the nest.
So what does that mean?
yeah. You have like a 9-year-old.
Matt is almost 50.
All right. Enough. Enough.
I mean, Matt
of
is
this.
old. Like, I mean, if we want to do a spin-off podcast about the age difference between you and your husband, I'm all for it.
All right. So anyway, Em, it's been amazing having you on. Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. And it is a shame
Does she have
that
to
you
go because
get
it's her
running.
bedtime, Matt?
She does have to get going. And
bedtime.
it is a real shame that you have to go. But thanks for the suggestion. A Court of Thorn and Roses.
I'm excited for you
exciting.
guys to learn about Tamlin's impressive length.
I clearly.
Jethro's very excited about it.
The
I can tell.
the rumor is that elvish dicks are very long. So
He's not an elf. There's no elf here. This is
Okay.
fairies.
Oh my God, go.
a fairy. Sorry, a fairy.
Come on, man. He's Fae.
Fae. Yeah.
He's
Fae
fine.
makes it sound much more adult and less childlike.
It really does. It really does.
All right, gentlemen. Happy walking. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you
It's
so
always
much,
a
Emma.
pleasure.
Absolutely
much.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Here. I thoroughly enjoy how uncomfortable
Yeah, you had
are
a great
by all of
time.
that.
That's super. All right.
It is
shut
very
up.
fun. It is very fun.
Jethro, we have a couple things we need to do. One is we need to talk about drinks. Two is we need to make our predictions as to how many links it is going to take us to get from Stargazy Pie to a Court of Thorn and Roses. Talk about your drink first.
I'm back on the old Woodford Reserve train. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
No. I didn't say that as a disappointment.
Your tone. You said, "Oh."
No, I did not.
There was a drop in the tone.
We hear what we want to hear, Jethro.
Listen. Here's the thing about me is I am monogamous. I find a thing that I like and I stick with it. I did that with my wife. Yeah. I do that with you. I don't go off and do podcasts with other people. I could. I get so many offers.
I'm sure that
but
you do.
I stick with you because I like you, and there we are. And so I found a bourbon that I like, and I drink it a whole bunch. So Woodford Reserve for me. What about you, sir?
Because my wife was going to be on, I figured I should have one of the little bottles that she got me last year. So I picked out, again, and we're starting in the UK, so I picked out a Scotch this time.
Look at you.
It's a Macallan 12.
Macallan 12.
Yeah, Macallan 12. And it's a little bottle, but it has a cork.
Aw, adorable.
I don't know if I can get that sound on here or not, but it actually has a little tiny cork, which blew me away. So well done, Macallan. I mean, they're high rated Scotch, so it's no surprise, but it still surprised me. All right, cool.
I'm not a big Scotch guy. I find it to be a little peaty for my.
Oh, I love a peatiness. This isn't actually a very peaty Scotch. This is a double cask, but not super peaty. So, but I like the peaty. I like the Scotch. So there you go.
All right, guesses. Let us guess.
Guesses. Write them down. Make sure you have them documented well, so that we will know what they are when we are finished.
I have made my guess.
Do it. Yeah, me too, man.
Do this.
Let's get into it. Let's start at Stargazy Pie, which not a super long page, but not the shortest we've ever been on.
It's not.
And we're trying to get to a piece of modern literature from here. So I'm looking for something that gets us away from the Cornish dish made of baked pilchards, which are sardines, along with eggs and potato covered with a pasty crust. A pastry crust. Gosh, I did that last week too. Pastry crust. Not pasty crust.
Aren't there corners of the UK where they're called pasties?
Pasties, I think.
Pasties is what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah. So I do notice that there is a reference here to a children's book called The Mousehole Cat, which featured a Stargazy Pie.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a book. Now, unfortunately, book is not linked, but the name of the author is linked, as is the name of the book itself. So I wonder if potentially that is a path out of here.
That is absolutely a path. So that's one possibility.
Yeah.
I will also say, and I've briefly scanned the article, and there doesn't seem to be a ton. Devil is linked here. Which could get us to our old friend Baphomet.
True.
So it also gets us into the world of fantasy and the supernatural, because as we all know, the devil is not real.
Okay.
But there is a section at the bottom here for the culture of Cornwall. And if you expand that section, there is a whole mythology section, which includes the beast of Bodmin, Blunderbore, the Booka, the Cormoran, the Cruel Coppinger, Jack the Giant Killer, the Knocker, our old friend, King Arthur, the Leoness, the Mermaid of Zenor, Owlman, Pisky, and Spriggan, one of which could get us closer to fairies.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. I don't know much about any of these.
Fair enough. Pisky takes us to Pixie, and I feel like Pixie and fairy are just as close as can be from a cultural perspective.
I agree with that. I the only reason that I'm at all reticent to do this is that we've gone through some mythology and things like that earlier in the season, but it does seem like a good path to go through. I'm okay with it, but before we leave the page, I have to read a part of this article that I want to make sure I get recorded here.
Please do.
Because it talks about the recipe for Stargazy Pie. It says the original pie in the legend included sand eels, horse mackerel, pilchards, herring, dogfish, and ling, along with a seventh fish. So I just
An
wanted
unnamed
to
seventh fish.
an unnamed seventh fish.
Interesting.
Apparently, it's a whole legend. The pie originated in the fishing village of Mousehole, and that's why the book, the Mousehole, the Mousehole cat. Anyway, it's an interesting thing that's going on here. So I just wanted to make sure we talked about that. But if you want to go to Pitsy, Pamsy, what'd you say? Pidsy, Papsy?
You know what? You're
say?
killing it. You're absolutely killing it.
Pinsy?
I said pixie, I think is what it goes to.
Itchy and pitchy.
It is under the culture of Cornwall. It is pisky, but it links to the pixie page.
Okay. I am down, man. I think that's a good way to go.
Pixie it is. Here we are.
Let's do it. Pixie.
A pixie, also called a pixie, pigsky, pigsy, is
Wow.
in parts of Cornwall and Devon, is a mythical creature of British folklore. Pixies are speculated to be particularly concentrated in the high moorland areas of Devon and Cornwall, suggesting some Celtic origin for the belief and name.
So on the right-hand side, before I even go too far into this, there's already a grouping: legendary creature, and then fairy and sprite are both
Look at
linked on here.
that! Look at that!
We could
That's
certainly,
fantastic.
we could certainly get to fairy from here. Though there are actually names of like characters on this page. I see Puck on here from
Midsummer Night's Dream.
right, and well, this is the English folklore. The Puck, also known as Goodfellows, are demons or fairies which can be domestic sprites or nature sprites.
In Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream, Puck his name is Robin Goodfellow.
Correct, and now we know why.
I would also like to read a sentence here, which I find fascinating.
Do it.
The earliest published version of the Three Little Pigs story is from Dartmoor in 1853 and has three little pixies in place of the pigs.
What?
That's banana pants to me, that the three little pigs started as three little pixies.
That is craziness.
It is.
And I want to point out that further down on the page, there's a C also that includes Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Look at that.
Which
Well,
to
there
me is a myth, a magical young adult novel, much in the same vein as what we're looking for. So I wonder if that is the way to go.
So the reason that Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is on the Pixies page is because Kenneth Branagh's character, whose name eludes me, Professor what's his face,
Gilderoy Lockhart, I believe.
Gilderoy Lockhart. There you go. He releases Cornish pixies for the class to capture, and they are not entirely successful in that effort.
Yes, that is
I
true.
will say this though: if what we're looking for is more of the sultry end of young adult fantasy stuff, I don't know that Chamber of Secrets is going to get us there, because it sounded like Emma, her big fascination with this book is the sex parts, which should suggest that she's not entirely satisfied with her own sex life at home. Who's to say why that is?
Jethro, now you're being cruel. Needlessly, she is a fan of this type of fiction, and she's a huge Harry Potter fan. So while I agree that Harry Potter does not have that type of content in it, I do think that the two are going to be closely related as far as the types of stories they tell. And so I would argue that there might be a way to go. Now, there is also fairy tale is listed down here in the C also, fairy land, fairy path, fairy ring. A lot of different fairy type things, as well as all kinds of like creatures, like the fairy queen is down in here, and Jacko the Bull, and Lady of the Lake is on here. So, what was the name of the character that she said? Freya or Feyre?
Feyre, Feyre.
All right, I don't actually see Feyre on here, but it's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I'm just wondering. I do feel like the Harry Potter route might be a good one, because at the very least, it can get us to young adult fiction, which is exactly what we want.
Okay, but no, exactly what we want is not young adult fiction. What we want is the very particular book of A Court of Thorn and Roses.
Yes, I agree.
So
I agree.
young adult fiction is a way of getting there.
Yeah.
But we also have like fairies aplenty that are listed in the sections here at the bottom. So I feel like we are perhaps selling ourselves short if we don't further explore that option.
I mean, you can take a look. I did look down there. I do see a link to Tinkerbell. I see a link to Pixie, the comic book
where are you
character.
looking? We're already on the Pixie page. That's where we are right now.
No, Pixie, the comic book character is what I was saying.
Oh, the well-known comic book character.
It's a X-Men character.
Okay.
That I was unfamiliar with, but I'm mousing over and I see Colt Pixie on here as well, Goblin. So there you go. But I'm telling you, I think Harry Potter. I think that's
All right. So you think Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that gets us to young adult fiction.
Yeah.
As opposed to directly clicking on the link to fairy.
Well, fairy is a very general thing. So you think that fairy is just going to have every single story that's ever had a fairy in it listed on there? Is that the idea?
I think that we are talking about a story that features fairies. And I think that, like, if you're talking about fairies being a general thing, okay, fine. Let's go to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. What's that going to get us to? Young adult fiction? You think that's not general?
I think that these two are more closely related than we think because my wife reads them both. But
You think Emma's going to be listed here as a linking tissue between?
No, I'm not
saying that. Is she
saying
on the page for Chamber of Secrets?
I am not saying that.
Of the many billions of fans of Harry Potter, is Emma Hartman of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Obviously not what I'm saying, but I am saying that I think that they are closely related. Now, if you really believe that fairy is going to get us there faster, I'm willing to give it a go, but I do want to come back here and see if we could have gotten there faster the other way. If
I love it.
Turns out
let's do that then. So let's go with fairy.
Fairy it is. We're just going to the very general. We went from Pixie, and now we're at fairy.
We are at
so
fairy.
There you go. And you notice that the Pixie page had every story that ever had a Pixie in it listed on there. Oh, Wonderful. Wait, no, it didn't at all. All right, let's.
Here we are at fairy. What do you got? You finding anything exciting?
There's a section that says in literature, and so I'm running down to in literature, and I'm looking to see what they've got there. And oh yes, there are mentions of books that contain fairies. There's Peter and Wendy, the Peter Pan story, which I'm sure you've heard about. Tinkerbell's on here again. We've got Puck of Pook's Hill. We've got A Midsummer Night's Dream. We've got the Brothers Grimm are on here. J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm not seeing much else mentioned on here. No. Oh, wait. Hold on.
What?
Popular culture.
Yes.
There's a bunch of things listed.
Yes.
Not this though.
Damn you.
Yeah.
So I'm under legends here.
Okay.
And on the second paragraph of the legends section, there in the second sentence, there is the child ballad Tam Lin reveals that the title character, though living among the fairies and having fairy powers, was in fact an earthly knight. And though his life was pleasant now, he feared that the fairies would pay him as their tithe to hell.
That's
and
one
Tam
of the stories.
Lin is linked, and I believe if you were listening to your wife,
I was.
She mentioned Tam Lin.
She did indeed. She said that the stories were closely related. So there is a chance that if we went to that page, it would link back to these characters and this story. I'm not sure that it will, but it may. And certainly, given what we have on this page, it is probably going to be our best path out.
I mean, have we looked at the purple sections at the bottom?
I did. It seems to be very similar to what was on the last page.
So attested fairies, and fairy-like beings worldwide. Okay.
Yeah. And the fairies and folklore and things like that.
Fairy enough.
Fair. Now, the Tooth Fairy is linked on this page as well.
Now, I will say that, like the Spiderwick Chronicles, the Dresden Files, these are all book series that are linked down here. List of fairy and sprite characters.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know if lists are taboo for you, but that also is a possibility for us.
If we had no other way out, I would be willing to go that way. I think we do have other paths, so I would rather not do a list if we don't have to. We've done it before when it's gotten late in the episode or something along those lines. I think we don't need that yet.
Okay.
But if we ever need to, at least we know that it exists. If
All right.
we can get back to it.
Then what do you like?
I think you're. What was it? Tam Lin.
Tam Lin,
think
under
it's
the
probably gonna
legend,
be-
the second paragraph, second sentence, under
So
the legends section.
Legends. Second part. Oh, Tam Lin. There it is. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think that's going to be our best bet.
All right, let's do it. Tam Lin, it is.
Tam Lin. All right. So hopefully there's a talk about how this same story is told more recently in novels. I see novels, adaptations, and I see it there, A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Look at that. We did
by
it.
Sarah J. Maas.
Oh,
As
my
a fairy
God.
character named Tamlin, whom the protagonist saves from an evil fairy queen, but the novel's plot is actually based on Beauty and the Beast. This Tamlin is a fairy monarch himself who was never human and actually becomes an antagonist after the first book. Oh, spoilers. Spoilers. So there you go. Hold on.
What?
Is this where we're supposed to be?
A Court of Thorn and Roses is our destination.
It is, but didn't she say that it was the book that she wanted?
I mean, I feel like
This is the series.
I feel like, come on, man. What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. I just don't know if we're in the right place or not. There's no link to the actual, does the book itself not have a page? Is that perhaps the case?
We did not explicitly ask. I'm not saying links for the other pages, the other books in the series.
No, me neither. And it says on here the awards. This must be the page that she's talking about. So I'm going to say that we've made it. I'm going to say that we found it.
All right then. I'm sure we'll hear from our listenership if they feel otherwise.
I'm sure that we will. And it's A Court of Thorns and Roses. I thought it was Thorn but it's Thorns and Roses. And I want to point out that the television series that they're potentially doing is being developed by Ronald D. Moore. And if you know Ronald D. Moore, he did Battlestar Galactica. He did Deep Space Nine. So now I'm interested.
Wow, there you go. I'm glad we were able to connect this to Star Trek so you could find purchase.
Potentially interested. But we have reached our destination, Jethro. We have done it. And in a tie with last week's 4 that it took us.
That is incredible.
It is incredible. And Jethro, since you launched this episode with your little introduction, you get to tell us first, what did you guess?
I will tell you what I guessed, and I guarantee that not only did I lose this week, but by losing this week, I believe that you will lock up the season with your tremendous lead.
We can look and see. I don't know if that's true, but what did you guess?
But my guess was 7. I had very little faith in us. Yeah, I thought we were going to take a long, long time to get there.
I guessed a 5.
Oh, look at you.
So, you're right. You did. I thought for sure you were going to have a 4 because we've had 4 so often. You really thought it was going to take us a long time.
Well, I mean, I've never heard of this book before.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I thought that it was going to, I mean, I guess like we've been a little spoiled with, for whatever reason, we've had a lot of mythical creatures this season.
We have, and we've had mythical creatures throughout. I feel like we've.
But I feel like mythical creatures have played a more central role this season than in previous years. Like we might stumble across one.
Yeah.
In that there were other seasons where like professional wrestling was a dominant theme. This seems to be the season of mythical creatures.
It's true. Well, we had 2 in a row, right? Knocker and Medusa. Came up in a row, and but aside from that, I don't know that we had any others. And technically, this wasn't. I mean, our suggestion wasn't a mythical creature, but we did have to go through it, and we did it. And Jethro, I'm counting things up here, and it does look like there's only 4 episodes left, and I'm ahead by 5.
Look at you! You won, Matt.
But that's no good. Now there's no. I don't know.
Would you just take the damn win and be happy about it?
No, I'm excited. I am
second?
excited. I am excited that I won.
Did we establish what we're betting this season? Or...
Yeah, it was a bottle of bourbon.
Okay, there we go. All right, cool.
Your choice, dealer's choice. We're gonna think of something else to make the last four still exciting as far as our guesses are concerned. Though I'm gonna think of something. I'm gonna find something for you. But I am excited that I've actually won a season. This is the first one I've ever won. It took me 10 seasons to actually win a season.
That can't be possible.
It is true. It is the absolute truth. Trust me. Every night I dream about it, and it's finally happened. So.
But haven't I bought you steaks? I feel like I bought you steaks one time.
You did, because we did a thing where, like, at the end of the season on the last episode, we had a thing where it was like, okay, well, whoever wins this episode has to do blank or something like that, because the episode didn't matter, much like not the episode didn't matter, but the guesses didn't matter. And so we did a thing, and it worked out that I won that moment, but I didn't win the season.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
It is. It's very exciting. I'm very excited about it. I'm excited that we got from Stargazy Pie to this Court of Thorns and Roses. And Jethro, I'm assuming that during our hiatus, we still have 4 episodes of the season left, but during our hiatus, you'll read the novel, right? Like, you've never heard of it, but you'll check it out, won't you?
I mean, it's got elf sex in it, so I mean,
Fairies.
that's
It's fairies,
you know what?
elves.
I hope that some fairies and some elves get together and have some freaky 3-ways, but that's just me.
Well, I guess you'll have to let us know, man, because I think that's what it's going to have to be. You're going to have to read it, because you have to find out what happens. So next week, we'll be off to a new destination, and I'm excited to find out what that'll be.
Likewise, me too.